there's a modern perspective about how, even our generation from your parents' generation there's quite a big difference. You can go back to your grandparents' generation. What did they think about things on a global level? Did they think about things on a global level? I mean, if you go back, I don't know, would it be your grandparents, your great-grandparents? There was the Great Depression, and that hit worldwide. And so it's just thinking, how much worse off were the developing countries during these times? And then it's modern nowadays, how things are progressing there when they're so kind of behind the United States and other developed countries. What do you guys think about, like, countries that are less fortunate than you? Or what do you think, just when you think of, like, developing countries?
Well, I've lived in an area of the world that's considered third world. I've been in Oaxaca, Mexico, right, which was pretty underdeveloped. So, I mean, I'm really grateful that I live in America now, where there's electricity and running water whenever you want it.
How was that? Like, how was showers? How was...
It sucked.
Yeah.
We had to shower with water from a well or water from the river, but you always had to boil it to get the mosquito larvae to stop twitching around, you know?
Ew.
And
was there malaria there, or that wasn't as prevalent?
it's a relative of malaria called dengue fever, and I actually had it, and it's just horrendous.
Wow, that's awesome. It's great that you're here. First to know.
Like,
That's awesome that you had such an awful disease.
Thank you for getting that and sharing it with us.
I came back to America and we went to Albertsons like the day after I got back. I was just stunned. There was so much food in one building.
That's
crazy.
So was it that like how much food we have, or like how many different types of brands, like of
It
one type
was-
of food? Just like
How much food, how cheap it was, how much we throw away, just like everything.
how much we take it for granted.
Total culture shock.
Okay.
Because I was used to, like, picking fruit off of trees. Like a monkey.
You are a monkey.
It's funny, man.
I had a similar experience. I didn't stay as long as you did, but I stayed 2 weeks in Kenya and Tanzania, and then 2 weeks in Honduras. So, yeah, it's a definite culture shock when you come back. But, what was the question?
Just like your thoughts on developing countries,
Well,
or how much we have compared to them.
it's kind of crazy, and I feel like in order to really understand, you kind of have to go there. But no, it was hard coming back because you look at like girls our age, and I'm guilty of this too. But it's like, oh, my iPhone broke. Oh, like I don't have the nicest clothes, and it's just like, well, at least you have clothes, like stuff like that. So, and I'm so guilty of that. But when I first came back, it was really hard for me to listen to these first world problems. So,
First world problems, definitely like no Wi-Fi. You're just like, oh, this is awful.
exactly.
Oh, you broke the internet. Why? I'm so dramatic.
Yeah, and we don't think about, like, this is a huge on us, and we're like, but we don't think about, there's people who don't even know what Wi-Fi is,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and a lot of people don't have running water, electricity. It was hard to watch. You wanted to just take them home with you. Like, okay,
Or
now
like,
you can live.
I knew families that ate like 2 or 3 tortillas, and that was all they eat that day.
It's just, and think about the nutritional value we get from that. That's just flour and water. You just, how do they survive on that? And here we're like so big on like, make sure you get your like 7 pyramid foods or whatever. I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
Is that what it is, Maddie?
I don't know, something about it.
Yeah.
Something got a pyramid and food in it.
Pizza's part of the pyramid.
It is a triangle, so it's close.
True.
It's a complete meal, dude. Proteins, carbs.
Let's just
dairy.
distribute pizza to all the world. And then I'm doing my dollar. How about you, Maddie? Like, how is it like on a global level compared to like what's what you have compared to?
Well, I haven't had like a first-hand experience like these guys, but
Dude.
yeah, But I don't know, like it's something I've definitely thought about a lot. I used to read these books about these people, like teenagers going on mission trips to like Africa or South America, and I always used to want to go so bad on a mission trip, but it was usually like other religions, and I didn't really know how to do it, but it made me think a lot about like how much we have compared to them, and like what we can do here to help people there. For a young women's activity once, we went to DI and we put together like care packages to send. I think it was to Africa,
That's
but
awesome.
I'm not sure where. But they like showed us this video about like them taking these packages to the people and watching the people and how grateful they were for like even a toothbrush or a tube of toothpaste or just something that we're like
That we don't even think
we
about.
don't even think about a tube
It's
of
like
toothpaste.
a given, right?
Yeah. So I just
That's
thought that was
awesome.
interesting.
That was a really cool project.
Toothpaste is legit.
It makes kissing a lot easier or better, right?
That one was for you, Professor.
Oh, Brother Wilson.
Oh my god.
Okay. So, I like how you said, like, what could we do here for them? Like, that's something that's really, like, that's what this dollar was supposed to, like, represent. Is what can I do for them? And that's just really, like, what can I do? Honestly. I feel like I'm just one person. I'm a million miles away. They're on another continent. It's kind of like, it's not my problem a lot of times. And, like, it's sort of this entitlement age that you hear a lot that we're in, where we're giving so much, we're just like, well, I deserve this. Well, what makes us deserve it more than them?
Mm-hmm.
And then what can we do to help, like, distribute it? Oh my goodness. My
Distribute.
English is
There you go. Distribute, like, our wealth, I guess. And what makes us, like, United States, we're such a great country, and what makes us deserve what we have compared to them? And that's really what's been, like, on my mind a lot. And I'm still trying to figure out what can I do for them. But I love, like, how you directly helped in a way. I mean, you put this stuff together and it went to them. And I think that is awesome. Alright, so what else am I supposed to go? Talked about my development dollar.
The questions that she
Okay.
posted.
Sure. Okay. So, actually, I'm going to go over the development goals first. We went over those a little bit. We talked about what they are. I think those are awesome goals. Is there anyone that people you even liked or anything? Or,
I thought they were all pretty good. I mean, who doesn't want those things?
right? Health?
Yeah.
I liked the gender equality.
Yeah.
I think that
That's
in
not so
most.
important.
Yeah.
Really? Where do you think's a woman's place, Will?
His name is Chris.
Chris, Will.
Gender equality is a very advanced need. Talking about Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yeah.
Talk about
That's
that.
definitely.
Is gender equality on the same level as food and shelter?
That's,
I think
That's a
there's
good point.
definitely like a ranking in some of those developmental goals.
Don't get me
I
wrong,
just think
gender
that's a
equality is
good-
fine, but there
Yeah.
are.
I just
there are
like
things
that
more
was on there. That's
Yeah, it was
considered.
good.
But no, I mean,
But
I know
that's a-
gender roles are there to make society function and stuff, but I think that, it's still.
that was a really good
important.
point, though. I didn't think about that. It's compared to, would you rather have food or would you rather have some rights to divorce your husband?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I kind of, I don't know. That's a
Throw
really
it
good
there,
point, though. I think about that. Yeah.
I don't know how developed Chad is. You know it all?
It's pretty bad. It's like ranked. I actually have it on here. Let's find it.
We're talking like infrastructure wise.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
So
Elaborate a little.
are there paved roads and electricity and running water and
Awesome. Okay, I can answer those questions.
infrastructure?
So in the cities, they're a little bit more advanced, but barely. And the part about the cities is you have so many people and so little accessibility to some things, like clean water. There's trash thrown about like everywhere. Electricity is really flaky, only for the top half of the like it's like the 1%. You know how you kind of say. And they are ranked. There's the Human Development Index, so how developed their country is. They're ranked 183 out of 187. in the world. So that's just telling you they're the bottom of the bottom, pretty much.
Wow.
So is it underdeveloped because of violence or, you know, government, or what's keeping them from
That's a good question.
advancing?
There are a lot of problems. First off, they have a lot of problems, and this is like a natural thing. This isn't something I mean, there's ways to deal with it, but it's the environment. They have a lot of drought and famine, and they don't have enough water to irrigate the fields, and this is what they live off of, is their agriculture. So when there's times of drought, there's just not enough food to go around. And when you don't have enough food, everything just kind of falls apart.
Yeah.
And there's no jobs because the people work in the fields, and there goes their jobs. They can't bring food home. There's disease that's just running rampant, and what else is there? I mean, obviously hunger. Kids, they're not going to go to school when there's no food. And I actually talked about this, was there's stunted children. Just because of their lack of food or their lack of nutrition, they're living off of, what is it that they grow there? I have to think about this. Sorry. It's like a wheat. It's, what do you call it? Sorry. Live off of,
Why?
I can't think of it. Okay, well, it's a wheat. So it's just like a wheat, sometimes some water. They have to travel like 2 hours to get water, and it's not even clean. You know, like you have to boil it. And so they're pretty low on this. And I kind of forgot your question, but yeah.
What's keeping them from
Okay.
developing?
So, yeah, to me, it's the lack of ability to keep it, what's the word?
Sustainable food
Stable.
source.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that's like kind of the root of the problem right there.
I could see that.
You can't be healthy when there's not enough food.
Yeah, that's tough. If it's just, you know, violence is keeping them from advancing, wars will eventually end, right? So,
Right.
But if it's something environmental, it's
And then-
more tough to deal.
What there is, like, what I feel like their hope is going to come from oil. They do have a vast amount of crude oil, not as much as like Nigeria, which they're exporting a lot of oil, but they do have quite a bit. They have pockets of oil, well, especially along the southern border, and let's see, they are working with China, and there's a difference. Okay, so do you guys know much about China's globalized involvement?
I know it's increased, like over the last decade or so.
Yeah, definitely. It way has increased. So China's kind of like in everything. They're like the world, like, we want to be here, we want to be there. You're making